This is King of the Castle, a fantasy medievally roleplay kind of game. First thing we're going to do is do some customization, which is we can customize our lord. We're going to be here a while, friends. I could be far more regal. I do have a sword ready if I need to behead anybody. I actually feel this is a bit of a vibe for what I'm wearing right now. Like the little bat guy, something slightly less, we're definitely evil about it. Now I'm going to go for the full Tudor, big bulky clothes. We are House Modge of the Monarch Alexander of the Modge dynasty. Let us begin. Your Majesty, I've scheduled your coronation to take place in a week's time. Shouldn't I be giving all the orders now? Why the hurry? Why the hurry? Delay any longer and it would make the nobles restless. And when the nobles get restless, they get at their daggers and look for the nearest back. Come at me, swines! Well then, what must I do? We wouldn't want that, I suppose. They wouldn't dare. Friends, would you dare stab me in the back? Would you dare? Yes, always, never, naturally. Don't worry, I wouldn't stab you in the back. The front works just fine. As tradition, the council would decide what happens at my coronation. Yes, council, decide my coronation. Shall we call the nobles in? Absolutely. Set the laws for voting. Okay, what kind of coronation shall be held for the new monarch? I would say my preferred option would be to veto me being thrown in the river. We shall host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine. An heir and ambition. The monarch must acquire an heir and complete their ambition to win the game. A spouse is useful, but not necessary. How the fuck do I do without wife? Baby factory in the reeds. There can be miracles when you believe. A forced pretender occupies the throne whilst my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honor. We must not allow it to go unanswered. You are going to try and intimidate me away from the thrones. The Grandees plan to hold the monarch hostage in their own palace. First, they must distract the spy master. You're fucking what, guys? Excuse you? Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Monarch Alexander. Something must be done. What scheme should the patricians pursue? Okay, they're going for monopoly. The patricians plan to privatize this entire damn kingdom. First, they must build up their industry. Chiefs of the North, we all know I should be on the throne, not this imposter Monarch Alexander. How do we make that happen? Are you, chiefs, going to use subterfuge, prophecy, or Ragnarok? Ray's own military. I think I know where everyone's gonna go. The chiefs plan to make an alliance with the ice giants to take over the kingdom. Fucking what? Sorry, what? Ice giants? First, they must not be weak, or the giants won't take their proposal seriously. We're an elective monarchy? Oh boy. Conscious sale. Your greatness, this is an outrage. Lord Patrician, the Anto is trying to steal my bear from under my nose. Anto? Anto, what do you have to say? It's not his bear. I was about to buy this beast from an adventurer in the Tattered Lands when Chief Quagiai turned up, shouting and raving about Skirninorn. And who is Skirninorn? The northern goddess of medicine and knowledge. The bear wears her mark upon her brow, the clear as day. She is a magnificent specimen. She'll be a great addition to my menagerie. The chiefs gratefully purchase the bear for an extortionate amount from the Tattered Lands adventurer, who can't believe her luck. Naturally, the patricians aren't too happy, and they're now aloof. Oh no. Oh gosh, no. The coast are now like cats. They're aloof. Now that you are monarch, you need personal protection. Why, I could plunge my sword into your heart right now, could I not? Excuse me? I'd like to see you try, sir. You need an honor guard to keep you safe from such dangers, your majesty. Unfortunately, this is a political decision. Each region offers a selection of elite guards, the chief with their most famous warrior heroes, the patricians with the champion gladiators from the arena, and the grandees offer the fiercest battle nuns from the Sisterhood of Steel. Fucking yes! Give me the Sisterhood of Steel! The problem is, I know that the grandees want to overthrow me, right? But I mean, all of the options want to overthrow me. Okay, chat, sell it to me. Who should I pick here? Sister Repentia says pick me. Like we said, if you let us trade, we will protect you. Well, I'm looking to trade as well. But you want some fearless warriors that aren't afraid of anything to join you? Yeah, the Northerners are pretty cool. We will keep your secrets so well that you won't know that you have them. Wow, that's also a good selling point. As much as I like the Northerners and the Grandees, for my own personal protection, I'm picking the Coastal Gladiators. The Gladiators arrive within a few weeks later. The men are bare-chested and the women are underdressed. Eager to show off their bodies as much as their weaponry, they gather behind your throne and begin oiling themselves up. Oh yes, sounds like a party! Woof! Your Highness, I am ruined. Hordlings have occupied my vineyard. Grubby little creatures like fat green babies with claws. Hard to kill. Fire is the only way to get rid of them permanently. Nope. We are not having people burn down a vineyard. You dip into the treasury and hire a stern-faced adventurer from the guild. Your Majesty, never fear. I can drive them out without collateral damage. Our wondrous bear is thriving in the north, Your Highness, just as Skirn Corn would whoosh. The god speakers have gained visions of new herbs and medicines ever since she arrived. Thank goodness. Real time for the real question. Is she adorable and fluffy? She's an avatar of our most powerful deity is Your Majesty. But yes, she is very fluffy. Only thing is that she's eaten a lot. And our hunters have pushed the frozen wastes to find enough good food to go around. Have you thought about the potential the bear would do nice in a cozy menagerie? Oh, Anto's back to try and rebuy the bear. Okay, seems like, Anto, you've gained yourself a bear. The voting is closed. By the knife, not our bear, by the sea and storm, how could you do this to us? Quakey lost its bear. To say the chiefs aren't happy is an understatement. Riots could break out across the north. Someone breaks into the council hall at night and scrawls symbols of Skono all over the walls. Bear is transported once more. Oh no, the north is aggravated. Your Highness, I've returned from Grandee Ralanator's vineyard. There's something you need to know. The Hordlings are not there of their own accord. They are directed by a hob, a mischievous spirit enacting some greater prank on Grandee Ralanator. Together, they will be difficult to dislodge. They've collected spoons from all over the south and are now hoarding them in a wine cellar. To what end, I do not know. A hob, first Hordlings and now a hob? I'm afraid so. Please, Your Majesty, I must purge this creature from my property so that I can return to my life. Show it no mercy. I would exercise caution. Hobs are notoriously hard to get rid of, and you wouldn't want it to target you, Your Majesty. Perhaps Grandee Ralanator can make peace with it by offering it milk. Offerings of milk! Offerings of milk! Ah! For those of you who don't watch my D&D show, I currently have a Fey Mafia extorting a load of my players for milk. Nay, Your Highness, I won't do it. I'm not about to appease that little monster. Grandee Ralanator tugs at his collar briefly. The truth is, I've wronged this creature greatly. It was many moons ago, but I cleared the Hobbs forest to plant my vineyard. Oh. An offering of milk would do no good. This creature is hellbound on revenge. I'm not about to try and kill a hob, if that's what you're after. It's harmless as long as we don't bother it. What should be done about the hob? Well, we'll instruct Grandee Ralanator to leave the milk despite your protests. Grandee Ralanator continues to grumble and argue, but does as he's told. I've found you 3 potential matches. 1 eligible young woman from each kingdom of the 3 kingdoms regions. Choose wisely. You'll be securing a powerful alliance. Sell me your children. First you slight us, then you tax us. You know the choice you have to make. Come on, Midge, my daughter's lapsed unit. And means well, unlike the others from the south and coast. One is an egomaniac with the admin ability of a cabbage, and the others is a shut-in. She's not a shut-in, she's a gamer. You're right. Politically, the best move, I believe, is marry the southerner. Far to the north, where the snow blankets and the landscape and the wolves howl in the night, the chiefs plot to bring about the end of the world, Ragnarok. Praise Morgana. Initial talks with the ice giants are going well, and they've given us a new patch of fertile land in the northern valleys. The gods are good, and with luck, this will be the foundation of an alliance that's strong enough to rock the world. Aye, the ice giants are a formidable ally, tall as buildings and limbs like tree chunks. Those southerners don't know how to fight them like we do. By stuff, we must offer the giants the desire. A whole kingdom's worthy of pillage? Just what I was thinking. If we fill the kingdom with bountiful goods and plunder, the giants won't be able to resist. Okay, they're on next level of Ragnarok. Your wedding to Bellona is naturally the talk of the kingdom, and the peasants and nobles alike travel from across the realm to attend for a week and a day. The capital is one giant party. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you'll be standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Bellona at your side. Do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife? I do. Then I pronounce you married in the eyes of the kingdom. Patrician the Anto. Oh god, Anto. You must do something about the pirates that have been plaguing the coast ocean of trade. I lost a whole shipment of fine silks. They killed the crew, of course, and they won't be cheap to replace. Oh, everyone's like, no, order the coast navy in. Order the navy. Okay, order the coast navy to patrol the sea routes. Over the next few months, the patricians' navy suffers constant attrition in their battles with the pirates. Failed military channels. The coast is now aloof. Their military is now helpless. The coast, you now no longer have a military. Your flagship is sunk by cannon fire. A pirate captain with some magical talent summons a Kraken from the depths, destroying several of your galleons. Our coasts, once a proud and powerful military force, were no match for the mighty Kraken that emerged from the depths of the sea. Despite our best efforts, our ships were torn apart like mere playthings. Our brave soldiers were dragged down into the abyss by the ancient Kraken's powerful tentacles. Erect, Scrublord. In the south, beneath the scorching sun, Grandy Rallinator strolls through his vineyard in the company of a few close friends. Thanks to our efforts, the Spy Master is focusing her attention on other regions whilst we can... oh gosh, it means they've got an objective. They won their objective because the North are upset. And while the cat's away, the mice shall play. Please don't dishonor me by comparing me to a mouse. Speak plainly or not at all. Oh, fucking hell, Lambert. I apologize, my friend. In plain terms, then, our next step is to replace the Palace Watch with our own agents. Indeed, the Onagar are incorruptible, but the Watch are another story. If the monarch can't pay them, they will look for money elsewhere. For the next stage of their scheme, the Grandies must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 2 seasons. Patricians, I need your money. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. The coast economy has never been better. We're making more money than I know what to do with. Damn it, their trade is still that high, even with the pirate attacks? Money breeds money. I've made a series of investments to improve our profits even more. But what we do with all the rest of it is this gold. Time to start buying things, of course. Land, roads, bridges. We'll buy up the whole kingdom piece by piece. First, the monarch must be in desperate need of our gold. Everyone needs to lower my cash. Sorry, what now? You're all 1 away from winning? Your Serene Highness, the situation on the coast is dire. The Prussians, I mean, the monarch's navy is in such tatters. With so few ships remain, I fear we lack the presence to patrol our trade routes. No, you can tell me that again. We must bolster our dwindling forces in the coast. Who knows what will happen if our people are without protection. Hire a mercenary company to help protect the coast. That's my treasury gone, everybody. How did you get that as a you guys only vote? Why did I have no say in you spending my money? Your Majesty, I fear our menagerie is failing to thrive. Of course she's sad. She's meant to roam over the frozen tundra and not getting overheated and being fed sweets. Actually, we wonder if she'd like some company. Perhaps some Tatterlands would yield another bear of her type. I think B is the best option you have here. I love democracy. Ooh, legends rising. Rumors of bribery about my heir. Your marriage to Bologna has grown stale. Oh, you get along well, but you've made some good memories together, but there's no spark. She cares more about the Ninth God than your happiness, but your spark or no, you still need an heir. Congratulations are in order! The royal wedding was magnificent! I'm very happy, thank you. Your happiness isn't as important as fulfilling your duty to the kingdom. I'm glad you found a way to have both. You've done well so far, but you're still missing an heir. You need some young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own will do the trick, but even if they're a bastard. Or the youngest of your many cousins. My wife and I will have a child together. The traditional method. No one will object to that. I'll arrange for you to take a month off from your ruling so you can get down to business. Thanks, Mother. You're aware of the ice giants, I hope. Brutish creatures live in the frozen waste beyond the northern borders. It's time before you ruled. They ruled the north and kept the people slaves. The chiefs are willing to let bygones be bygones. They're forging an alliance with these giants to bring down your kingdom. My intelligence suggests that the chiefs have offered up the kingdom as plunder for the giants when the time comes. I'll not say this, but the kingdom's strong economy is a problem. Even the ice giants can sense such a lucrative opportunity. Can we take them in a fight? I imagine not. Only the chiefs know how, and they aren't likely to tell us. The two of them combined would be a formidable foe for even the most well-equipped army. Gentlemen of the Senate, nobles of the council, we must build the wall and make the North pay for it. Okay, we're building a great wall along the northern border. Meanwhile, in the south, Grandy Rallinator has invited his closest associates to his manor house for some wine and cheese and treason. The ninth god is with us, friend. The palace watch are in our pocket. They took our money gladly. The kingdom can barely afford to pay them a living wage. Music to my ears. Soon the throne will be ours. Indeed it will, but now we must plan our next steps. You want to raise your own military, do you, Grandy? Over the next few months, we'll have our troops infiltrate the capital disguised as beggars. They'll swap places with the palace watch, one by one. So what do I owe the pleasure, Madam Treasurer? Oh, give it a rest. You know why I'm here. Let's just hurry, shall we? Where do I sign? Here, here, and here. There you go. Now you've got what you wanted. Now give me my money. My eyes deceive me. Was that the royal treasurer we were speaking with? Indeed, my good friend. Good news. The monarch's gold is running out, and the treasurer is willing to sell off the kingdom's roads and bridges. Soon, the kingdom will be ours. But what will we do when we own everything? Nobles voted for A. Turn the monarch into a proud corporate mascot. You want me to raise stability. Grandees strike a lucrative trade deal with Kurth, worth 500 wealth. Other nobles gain 200 wealth. Damn it, the grandees are really on it with the trade. Majesty, disaster, your new pet bear has escaped. Oh. The servants were cleaning her cage and she ate one of them before bursting through the bars. The bear has escaped the palace and is roaming the city's streets. We have to do something before someone else gets eaten. Well, looks like we're letting the bear roam free. Tales and horror spend from Black-Wheeled Forest as the bear ambushes, and devours anyone who ventures into the woods. The bear is happy enough out in the wild though, and you save a great deal of money on her food. Murder! My father, chief dragon god of the old war, has been murdered. It was Grandee Gabe! By the old gods, don't let him deny it. I won't deny that I killed the venerable chief, but it was no murder. He agreed to an honorable duel, which I won. Gods be good. It was no duel. It was a cold-blooded killing. What reason would my father possibly have to duel you in the first place? For any duel between a challenger and the challengee, a private matter not fit for this council. Right, I'm just gonna let this one to the council. Hold a trial for Grandee Gabe. A trial? A duel is a duel. His father knew that. God bless you, your majesty. Now we can mete out some actual justice. Your highness, I bring bad news. An outbreak of the crystal pox is ravaging the north. Whole villages have succumbed. The disease is terribly virulent. Victims of the crystal pox are only infectious at the boil stage. Once they are fully covered in crystals, they no longer spread the disease. Indeed, the pox crystals can be harvested and used in jewelry. If we allow the pox to spread, we can make money in the north. Only way to fight the pox is to close the roads and shut down all trade until the wave subsides. Quarantine the north to prevent further spread of disease. Many fields fallow with no farmers left to tend them. Northern villages are dotted with the gleaming statues of the afflicted. Thanks to the count's quick thinking, the disease doesn't spread beyond the northern borders. Once the roads reopen, the chiefs harvest the gemstones from the quarantined dead and sell them at a tidy profit. Some chiefs have increased their wealth. Back in the north, the chief dragon of war is hosting yet another feast in his clan hall. Mead is being passed around in good measure, and some chiefs are dancing on tables. Now that can only mean two things: really good news or really bad news. Were those ice giants I saw on my way through your lands? Have we really done it? Your eyes don't deceive you, lad. They'll be marching with us come the morrow, and by the Grahalar's beard, they come in force. We must really impress them with our reports of the kingdom's bounty. Oh god, their military is now terrifying. Guys, all three of you are going to complete your final objective at the same time, and then it's just going to be a random outcome, and I'm going to die. Let the ice giants fight alone and swoop into the kingdom's rescue. It's actually a really easy goal for them to get. Deviously, brilliantly so. Why? It's almost dishonorable. So currently, the chiefs of the north are close to rebelling. Urge a rebellion. 3 votes needed to start a rebellion. None of the northern chiefs have voted to start a rebellion, but they could do it any time. Grandee Gabe, you stand accused of the murder of Chief Dragon of War. How do you plead? Not guilty, obviously. I told you it was an honest duel. His death was an unfortunate accident and nothing more. And yet there's no proof. No one can corroborate your account of this supposed honorable do. And no one even knows why you were at our estate in the first place. Your greatness, my father is dead. Don't let Gabe get away with murder. Gabe has been here for 2 seconds and he's been fucking executed. Just taken out the back and shot like a dog. Your greatness, I beg you, respect the customs of the South and permit a retrial by combat. If my innocence cannot be proven, the court must be proven in the dueling arena. Sorry, going with the court. The monarch has spoken. A life for a life. The sentence was swift and merciless. Grandee Gabe hangs. And the case is closed. Hello, your majesty. I've travelled all the way from the north to beg you to do something about the price of grain. I can't afford to feed my family. A day-breaking work isn't enough to buy a day's worth of bread. He's right. The grain price in the north is beyond control. Greedy merchants rake in profits. Right, let's try putting a cap on the price of grain. And we failed. You place a strict price cap on grain. However, wily merchants start using the grain to brew alcohol to avoid losing money and get around your orders. As a result, the supply of grain goes from hardly any to almost none. The peasants are worse off than ever, and starvation grips the north. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. The assembled nobles break out into polite applause. By designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of the kingdom. Your august majesty, may I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your son. What's his name? It'll be Alexander II. Excellent, your serene highness. I'm sure little Alexander will grow up to be the chip off the old block. Your highness, famine in the north grows worse by the day. Riots are breaking out in all the major townships, from Skama to Thorngrad. Starving mobs are pillaging bakeries, granaries, and merchant houses. What are we to do?
Why, Northerners, are you voting not to finish your famine?
You bloody blithering idiots! Oh, you deserve to starve! Order grain supplies to be diverted from the south. How very dare you take our goods without conversation? We had a very valuable trade deal in that plan. Ah, dear. Quaggy Eye is leading a rebellion right now, but it's halted. Oh god, Econ's leading a rebellion in the south as well. Ah! The Grandies are now currently rebelling. Time to put them down. At long last, the Grandies have reached their boiling point. You're confronted in the throne room by Lord Lambert, and his eyes are righteous with fury. The ninth god has judged you unworthy. Pretender to the throne of the Grandies of the south, listen, we rise up to fight for Ezra, the true monarch. It's a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other, we'll be on the battlefield. And look at that! The Chiefs now win because you lowered the frickin' stability, you numpty sacks, you Grandies! What are our chances against the rebels? Grandies are formidable, but not undefeatable. I hope they don't persuade any other regions to join their rebellion, but that would be disastrous. So this is it. Civil war. I don't need your civil war! That's right, your majesty. The kingdom is divided. There will be a lot of death and suffering before this is over. Chiefs have basically won this because the people that could rival them currently were the Grandies, but the Grandies have started a rebellion, which means if there is a rebellion and the Chiefs enact their win condition, the Chiefs win. Deep in the desert, a group of rebel Grandies have gathered to discuss the civil war. With them are spies, a cluster of nondescript southern citizens in ordinary clothes. Greetings, righteous friends. I trust the ninth guides your path. The ninth no doubt wishes Monarch Alexander's reign of tyranny is over. That is precisely why I invited you here. We know the chiefs are in the monarch's pocket, but are there peasants? I know for a fact that Chief Quaggy Eye stockpiling food while the ordinary people of the north go hungry. Our spies should spread the word. We'll be kinder to the peasants than the Chief Quaggy Eye and his corrupt companion. A promise of riches to those who move and enlist from the north. Randy Mastasia, trusted spies, spread through the north. Whispering the wealth and glory to be had fighting for a just cause. The weeks pass and the Grandies grow nervous, but when groups of peasants arrive, they immediately start scheming. But there's no way I win this. At all. Everyone can join the rebellion! It's another day poring over maps and the battle plans with your marshal. It's hard to remember the last time you did anything, and yet, just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, your majesty, you won't believe this. Let me guess. Ice giants? She stares at you blankly. Yes. Ice giants have entered the Crown Lands just last night. According to my scouts and the chiefs, they've abandoned us. This must have been their plan all along. One path remains. Brady, Contour, the rebels might just agree to a truce if we're invaded by ice giants. There won't be a kingdom left for anyone. We'll send our best diplomats. Next week is agony. Every second you spend waiting for the Grandee Contour to arrive, the giants cause more damage in the capital. Nevertheless, you are patient. When the Grandees finally arrive, they bring a whole battalion, clearly fearing a ruse. I'm surprised you came calling for us. You must be desperate. I won't fight for free. Crown Ezra as monarch, and we'll let the giants do their work. You can't have my kingdom. You don't have anything else to bargain with, your majesty. You decline, I walk. Now over my dead body. As it looks like the fight breaks down, a horn sounds in the distance. All heads in the room swivel towards the source of the noise. Someone is outside the walls. Everyone rushes outside. All previous hatred forgotten, as it's greeted by an extraordinary sight. Giants are outside your walls, and they've already demolished any soldiers they see. Grandee Contour's mouth opens in a stunned silence as he realizes his army has been decimated. The capital's walls crumble like paper. The giants kick down the gates, pluck soldiers off the battlements with their fingers. All is lost, your majesty. I have failed you. It's fine. I'll face my death with dignity. Salutes you sternly. It was an honor, my monarch. But before you can fetch your sword and armor, your chief architect rushes in and is clearly out of breath. Your majesty, the chiefs, they've come to save us. My beautiful ramparts, they will live to see another day. He collapses into a heap on the stone floor. You rush out of the palace with your honor guard in tow to see it for yourself. Climbing on the outer battlements, you are met by an incredible sight. The giants are fighting with their backs to you. They aren't fighting your watch. They're fighting a horde of painted northern warriors. Can't put your finger on it, but this stinks of something terrible. How do the giants get past the monarch's walls without the chief's help? The battle is quick and bloody and the giants are slaughtered, but not without inflicting heavy casualties on the chief's forces. You meet them now in the gates. Chief Dragon, god of the old war, drenched in blood, grinning like a saber tooth. For greatness. Glorious battle. Luckily we turned up when we did, eh? Could have come a few weeks ago. Hey, maybe. But we're here now, and that's what matters. Your people love us for it. We did just save their lives. Yes, you saved them. I saved them from the giants, the grip of the weak ruler. Nothing would have been necessary if you'd held the monsters back like a proper monarch. Just thinking aloud. Maybe it's time someone else took over. Someone who doesn't buckle at the sight of a few lumbering giants. What do you think, your majesty? I know a certain chief who would be happy to take the burden. Eric is his name. I think you can go to hell. Chief Dragon of the war snarls. Before you know it, an axe is flying at your face. You duck, and just in time, as the axe sails over your head and strikes one of your honor guard. Challenge succeeded. Kill them. Capture the monarch. Your gladiators fight tooth and nail, but the Northerners are not only more numerous, but just as ferocious. There's clearly still a fire in their blood after fighting with the giants. They throw themselves at your honor guard without a care for their own lives, closing in past the useful range of tridents and spears, and you're completely overwhelmed. You're left until the end so that Chief Dragon can gloat one final time. You Southerners just don't get it, do you? We'll never rule the North, and no matter how many centuries it takes, we'll always be its true masters. Now, thanks to you, the entire kingdom will be ours. A worthy gift of our gratitude for destruction of the ice giant threat. I know what you did. The ice giants were your plan all along. Ha! You're not slow after all. A shame, though the secret dies with you. A flesh eater awaits you, your majesty. The gore-covered axe rises and hovers for one agonizing moment, and then falls. The Dragon of War's axe brought a chapter of history to its close. Historians write that ice giants, not traitors, slew the monarch Alexander. The Grandees, led by a conqueror, launched a rebellion that accomplished nothing besides distracting the monarch while cunning schemers took the throne. The patricians' attempt to buy the kingdom ended in failure. Bankruptcies were filed. Marks were scratched in secret ledgers. Then the risk-reward calculus wasn't favorable. Perhaps next time. Once the war with the ice giants was won, the chiefs were heralded as the saviors of the kingdom. Eric was crowned king amongst pomp and ceremony. Any whispers that Chief had arranged the giant attack was squashed with extreme prejudice. The chiefs are victorious. Monarch stats. Monarch Alexander the Giant Food. Game length 2 years and 9 months. Spouse Belladonna of the South. Successor King Eric. So this is King Eric of the Modge dynasty, presiding over the south and coast and the north. Your Majesty, you may have won the throne from the monarch Alexander, but you must still answer to the council. As tradition, they decide what happens to your coronation. I should have changed my waterproof robes then, yes. It may have been best for you, yes, your majesty. Shall we call the nobles in? Everyone's throwing me in the fucking river. Remind you, northerners, this is your king. Currently, the king in charge is Eric, the person that you've put on the throne. The king will be thrown in the river. The nobles pick to carry out to the Treadwater River and hurl you into the shallow end with a cheer. When you climb back to the bank soaking wet, the chancellor step forward and place the crown on your head. This is your imagination or some of the nobles' stifling giggles. The trade was really hard for me to control. I don't have bonuses to trade, really. So, you know what? I am going to try and go for a saint. You're sitting victorious atop your new throne, lovingly sculpted with the bones of fallen warriors. You don't have much time to feel smug, however. Your Majesty, most of the ice giants who came down during the Ragnarok have returned to the frozen wastes. There's still a few stragglers, warbands roaming the countryside, causing chaos. What should we do? Ever since someone invited them down here, the giants have proven difficult to dislodge. The North remembers. Oh god, you guys kept all your stats from last time? Oh, so going trader actually wouldn't have been that hard. Shit. Grandees of the South. A false pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honor. We must not allow this to go answered. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of King Eric. Something must be done. Okay, everybody's already completed their first challenges. Chiefs of the North, King Eric has abandoned the ways of our people. Put me on the throne and I'll stay true to our traditions. I'm going to go for the honor guard. I know exactly who I'm picking this time. Give me the Southern Battle Nuns. Ill wins, your greatness. A meddling wizard has set up a shop in Nordia. I believe it's Athermel, the Stormbringer. She's put out a call for new apprentices, which is a rare event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many. Droves of unwashed, glory-seeking common folk from all over the north are lining up for their chance. Not just for peasants, but I, Benjamin Magnus, have also decided to apply. The competition will be fierce, but those citizens are no match. We can't let this go ahead. To have a potential wizard on the council will present a clear, dangerous conflict of interest. Wizards only answer to themselves. Their power is unmatched, such that an entire kingdom cannot stand against them. Even an apprentice on the council would be disastrous. Lord Patrician Benjamin Magnus could use the magic to interfere with votes. Or you, for that matter. We shall assemble the council. Voting is tied at 6. So I get to break the tie. Allow Patrician Benjamin Magnus to become an apprentice wizard, of course. Ben, you fucking owe me. You fucking owe me, boy. And now, gods be good. He actually passes his apprenticeship. There's never been a wizard on the council before. You have nothing to fear from me, or your august majesty. I'll always have the kingdom's interests at heart, even as a wizard. Oh, let's do finding a spouse. I will take any, male or female. Murder! My father, Lord Patrician Shulioni Mikey, has been... Oh, this is Shulioni Mikey II. Has been murdered, and I know who did it. It was Grand Zan Eldritch by the 9th. Don't let them deny it. I won't deny that I killed the venerable Lord Patrician Shulioni Mikey. But it was no murder. Shulioni and Mikey agreed to an honorable duel, which I won. Okay, apparently a duel's a duel. Let the accused go free. Okay, the coast is now mutinous. Ah, boy. Luckily, the coast doesn't have any military. To the rebellion report. They're on the verge of rebellion. Oh, okay. All right, then, let's see these eligible candidates. This is Finn, firstborn son of the Northerner Kojabu clan. He's your typical northern lad, big, brawny, and honest in the same way an axe is to the face. From the coast, we have Dominica. Oh, this is the heiress to Lady Magnus's estate. I mean, just look at her. She's gorgeous, and apparently she's got a silver tongue, too. She's also obsessed with the arena. All of her friends are gladiators, and sometimes she even enters the arena to fight herself. She's set to lead by her passions, living in the moment without a thought for a reputation. Finally, we have Casilda, the eldest daughter of Econ. She's reputed to have an ego the size of the sun, but nothing can be wrong with that confidence, right? It's my kid, of course he's the best, is how you're selling it to me. Because I quite like Econs right now. You need to appease us coastal folk. Honestly, coastal folk can't do jack right now. You've got no military. He's super beautiful and majestic and rich. You are rich, but to be fair, the chiefs have a big army. You know what, Northerners? I'm going to take a punt at you. If you betray me again, I will sink you into the ground. Lord Patrician Benjamin Magnus. What the fuck happened, Ben? Sorry, what? Ben's a skeleton. Why is there a skeleton in front of me? It's me, Lord Patrician Benjamin Magnus. I was struck by lightning on my first day, and every inch of flesh over my body is evaporated, but the Lady of Storms gave me a second chance. But now she's cast me out. I am saying I have no discernible magical acumen, whatever that means. I demand vengeance. Show Athamall what it means to insult a member of the King's Council. Oh dear. Ben's a skeleton. Bad day at the office right there. Apparently a skeleton cannot be Lord Patrician. Benjamin Magnus's lands must be forfeit. The coast is now treasonous. Skeleton continues shaking and rattling in anger all the way back to the coast, where they conveniently kick the bucket not long after. As it turns out, proximity to Athamor's magic was the only thing keeping him alive. Oh, Your Highness, Chief Dragon of War has been having prophetic dreams. True, I can part the veil betwixt now and the some ways off. I look to the future and it speaks through me, no more, no less. For example, I dreamt a plague of bees will bring doom upon Grand Cyrus LD's household. Please, Your Majesty, have him foretell the future for the council. We could gain insight into great mysteries. He is now an official advisor on the council. Wonderful news, Your Majesty. I will certainly not disappoint. The north, defiance can't go lower. The trade is now dynamic in the north. And farming is now fruitful. I miss the north and it's way too warm down here. People twist their words. They don't mean what they say. I'd much prefer to rule from the north if I could. I can see why. Everyone down here speaks in circles, insulting each other, without really insulting each other. I do not know how you stand it. I suppose you were born into it, weren't you? You had no choice but to get used to it. After finishing the last of the wine, you head to your separate bedchambers. Your husband is happy to take his time getting to know you. It seems that the rebels will, rebel next season. My grandees, my chiefs, are we ready to crush a rebellion? You must do something about the pirates that have been plaguing the coast's ocean trade routes. I'd lost the whole shipment of fine silk, and they killed the crew, of course. It won't be cheap to replace. Yeah, getting the army killed before a rebellion's probably very good. Oh no. The rebels, they have no military. Lord Patrician Benjamin Magnus, you look far healthier. Traditionally, we patricians have facilitated trade, making sure that the deal between both sides, yet the chiefs now buy them from the grandees directly. They're cutting us out the deal. Can't let them get away with it. Sounds like clever business to me. Your Serene Highness, just call a council vote, will you? I'm voting at 4. Well, I think I will go with my choice. The die trade under the authority of the king. This doesn't help at all, your majesty. You're cutting us out. I'd rather have the king monitor our trade than your slimy mitts all over it again. All you ever did was skim off our profits. Why, you ungrateful rag of brash, You'll have your honor guard step in before anything gets too rowdy. Lord Patrician Benjamin Magnus backs down without a fight. Yeah, turn your tail and run, Ben. The patricians suffer as a result of the council's decisions, but the grandees too will have to pay much more than they had been. The kingdom is in rebellion. The first earn 5 victory points will win. If the rebels are victorious, the monarch is overthrown. Right, guys, we got to put down this rebellion. At long last, the patricians have reached their boiling point. You are confronted by the throne room by noble patrician Lady Magnus. The patricians of the coast will bring you down. Pretender to the throne will rise up and fight for Clovia, the true queen. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other, we'll be on the battlefield. One day I will see your head on a spike. There'll be many heads on spike before this war is over. Mine will not be among them. The patricians don't even really have an army right now. We'll be fine unless they hire mercenaries from overseas or persuade another region to join in their rebellion. The leader of the rebellion, Lord Anto, he's citing your past transgressions as reasons for the uprising, disinheriting Lord Patrician Benjamin Magnus just because he was a skeleton, and the fact that you caused Ragnarok. Lord Patrician Anto, do you smell that, my friend? Sorry, I think I stepped in some... Mikey stepped in some doo-doo. That's freedom! You can smell... What? Okay, hang on. Wait. The two Irishmen are talking about rebelling against the king. Give me a moment. Just need to put this on in the background while I talk. That's freedom you can smell. Freedom from the mad tyrant King Eric. At long last, we have risen up against his oppression. But if we want to keep our freedom, we must fight for it. I ask you, my fellow patricians, what will be our opening strike against the king? Our army is too weak to attempt a military action, unfortunately. If we suspect the grandees may cause, we can call them to war. They'll be more likely to join us if the king's authority is low. We could also use the church to condemn the king. Or we can send assassins to nip this in the bud. Okay, patricians, what are you trying to do? They're calling upon the grandees to join the cause. And all grandees of the south. For too long you have suffered under the yoke of the king's tyranny. This war is righteous. Do the noble thing and join us. Are they openly in the rebellion as well now? Is that just it? They don't get to choose? The kingdom is burning as the patricians march their troops across the country. The king struggles to put out the fires. A secret meeting is being held. Here's to our future monarch, Carmen. The golden age on the horizon. May the ninth god strike down the false king for his wickedness. Soon the Inquisition will be complete, and the Archbishop will crown our claimant. But what should be done with the king? Never expected the Southern Inquisition. Apparently you're going to try and burn me at the stake. You're trying to lower my stability. Oh gosh, but the chiefs are also trying to lower civility. Oh no. So the thing is, the two loyalists want to destabilize the realm, which will end the game. There is a rebellion that if they win, they will end the game. Oh boy. The patricians have attempted to muster an army, but all they could gather were a few old men, beardless youths. We're doomed, says the Anto. Yes, I think we might be doomed, says Magnus. With no army to speak of, the patricians cannot march in rebellion. They still mill around their camps, waiting for the king's forces to come smash them into pieces. Your Highness, a terrible sickness is spreading among my troops in the south. We've done a lot of digging, a lot of latrines, and a lot of graves. If we let the disease run its course, we'll lose a lot of soldiers we can't afford to lose. I'm not sure how much we can do. Perhaps the council will see a way forward. And it is a pure tie. In wizards I trust. 2 days later, the wizard Pestia arrives at your court. She is clad in flowing black silk, wearing a mask shaped like a rodent's face. Likely black fever, carried by the body lice. Make sure all your troops are thoroughly bathed and scrubbed with soap. I hand over my money and I'll be on my way. Why should I give you anything for that? Ever heard the expression, never break a promise to a wizard, your majesty? You want to become the main character of a cautionary tale? Nah, it's fine. After a few days, a new disease starts ravaging the southern lands. It's even worse. The first symptoms involve acute stomach cramps, followed by turning inside out. Oh my god! The patricians are mustering their troops, your majesty. Their guard is down. It's the perfect time to strike. I've discovered a hidden mountain pass that allows us to slip troops into the coast undetected. We can end this rebellion before it starts. Make it so. When she returns, she strides into your throne room with a triumphant gleam in your eye. Marshal, report. As I suspected, the patrician army was so disorganized, it didn't stand a chance. We ambushed their troops and drove them into the river, leaving them to face a small, dismal choice. Death by spear or death by drowning. By the time we were done, their whole army was slaughtered. Our troops found themselves loose in the coast, totally unopposed. So I ordered a massive push into their lands, looting and pillaging the whole way. As we speak, Your Majesty, our armies are laying siege to the Lord Patrician Anto's fortress. All that remains are the formalities of victory, Your Majesty. A few days later, you receive word that Lord Patrician Anto's castle has fallen. Just like that, the rebellion is over. Soon, the armies of the grandees and the chiefs are parading through the city, waving the banners and showing off their loot. Meanwhile, Lord Patrician Anto, the leader of the rebellion, is brought to you in chains. Common folk crowd into the palace to watch the trial. We were doing what was right. Someone had to put a stop to your tyranny. Now, I know my Irish history, and things tend to go badly if I make a martyr of an Irishman. Anto, I'm going to let you go with a warning. And just like that, the coast is defeated, the rebellion is over, and the kingdom is yours again. As you sit resplendent atop your throne, the common folk raise a mighty cheer. Long live the king, they shout. Long live the king! Your Highness, excellent news from beyond the skies. I have seen that a solar eclipse is on its way, visible from the north. We must encourage the kingdom to gather beneath the dark sun and experience this once-in-a-lifetime event. By the ninth, nay! Eclipse is a warning from the ninth god, a sign that the kingdom has fallen into shadow. All the nobles start talking at once. Some are excited, some are horrified, but all are very loud. Oh, I kind of like the anonymous voting. You can't see where the nobles truly lie. Go for holy protection against the eclipse. Your faith is increasing. I'm afraid we are learned nothing from scripture about the eclipse. Heathens, we searched through the most ancient monasteries and discovered a book describing what a time when the sun went dark. Servants of the evil seventh god broke through while the darkness fell and took possession of one who predicted the eclipse. And now the seer in question is none other than Chief KJ. That's just some old book. I'm not some sort of demon. Not yet. Your Highness, the scripture describes how the demons will use KJ to bring havoc to our realm. We must protect the kingdom. Some people just can't get past a good burning when they have the opportunity, can they? Everyone is voting C. No, this is an outrage. I know. High Inquisitor guards drag them away. With ruthless efficiency, they are executed within the hour, their body left in a cleansing pool far underground. Your Highness, the situation in the south is dire. City Watch in many of our cities is understaffed, and now crime is rampant. Even dueling has dwindled as minor nobles take up other hobbies like knitting and insect collecting. Pah! We must bolster our dwindling forces in the south. Who knows what will happen to our people without protection? Apparently there is a recruitment campaign going on. Surely the peasants need encouragement. Posters featuring likeness pointing at the reader with a text saying, King Eric needs you, are soon to be plastered throughout the south. Hey, we actually won. We now have a weak military, Southerners. Enjoy. After weeks of leading your baggage train along the perilous mountain roads, you finally arrive in the snow-swept hills of Clan, the Dragon of War. The hall is crammed with the chiefs of the north sitting cheek to cheek along tables groaning under the weight of the food and ale. Your Majesty, welcome to my humble hall. Take a seat, grab a drink. It is customary at Winterfest to exchange with the hosts. What did you bring? Axe with an emerald-encrusted shaft. What extraordinary craftsmanship. Useless as a flagon of full seawater, of course, but it certainly looks pretty. I'll make sure the chiefs know of your generosity. After that, the feast lasts long into night. The fires roar and the bards sing songs of old days, and a lake of ale is consumed. A couple of hours, you are extremely drunk. As the Winterfest draws on, the snow piles up, and outside the doors, and the mood in the hall turns raucous. Your memory is blotchy, but you distantly recall leading the entire hall in song. The chiefs roar alongside you, full-throated as you sing, stirring battle songs of the north long into the night. When you wake the next morning, you find yourself sprawled in the hall. Chief Dragon is sitting beside you, eating some bacon and eggs. You really got into the swing of things last night, Your Majesty. Mighty impressed I was. Didn't think you'd ever know the words to some of those songs. To be honest, Your Majesty, you've gotten too into the swing of things. You sang some songs that were very aggressive towards other regions, the kind of songs that rhyme with pillage and village. Oh no, I'm aggravating the others. Favoritism? A little high right now. Should I die? I ask my crown be passed to my daughter, Eric II. In the capital, the solar eclipse does little make the day a little grey. In the north, a mild panic spreads where the sun goes dark. Nothing happens to the people breathe a sigh of relief. But when you call the council session, KJ Poo looks furious. My parent was unjustly slaughtered in the name of nonsense about the eclipse demons. I demand justice. Nonsense, your parent is dead. I see no demons anywhere in the kingdom. We couldn't have been more right. I want an apology and compensation with the treacherous grandees. No, don't reduce my faith. No, don't vote A. The start of your reign, you want to become a saint. But so far, I've not convinced anyone the kingdom of faith is still strictly underwhelming, Your Majesty. Your current ambition isn't working for you. If you want to change the nobles from overthrowing you, you need to pivot. Change your image. My advice would be infiltrate each region with the local spies Defeat their scheming with your own schemes. Create a system-wide trade network, stability in trade, authority in military, farming in military, stability in farming. Stability in farming. Your priority is to raise kingdom stability, overall farming as much as you can. Of course, there can't be open rebellion amongst the nobles. Your Highness, a blacksmith in the south has come up with some sort of printing contraption. Though relying on the painstaking effort of scribes, it produces 100 copies of text an hour. Verily, Your Holiness, isn't technology wonderful? Don't you see how dangerous this is? Books should stay in churches and universities, or else commoners will start getting ideas. Whaley University will be proud to take the stewardship of this marvelous new technology. Oh, it's an immense boon for trade and farming! As the common folk learn to advance techniques for increasing crop and mining yields. Trade is now monopolied and dominant everywhere else, and farming is abundant everywhere. Chancellor, Your Majesty, the common folk are swayed easily as a dandelion in the gale. I'm confident we can make them adore you. This will be the biggest public relation campaign the kingdom has ever seen. You'll tour the kingdom giving speeches. Town criers will declaim your great deeds from every corner. Can't we do things that actually help the people? Nobles will never accept it. You need to secure your hold on power, and then you can pass whatever reforms you like. We're helped by the fact the kingdom is harmonious. It's important we keep it that way. Your goal is to raise the kingdom's stability and farming as much as you can. A giant glass globe filled to the brim with murky water is wheeled before the council. A fishbowl contains the Lord Patrician Benjamin Magnus, suspended in liquid. He pokes his head from above the surface. A Serene Highness, glub glub. A most infuriating circumstance has befallen me, glub glub. What is it now, Ben? First you were a skeleton, now you live in water? I have been, glub glub, cursed by a sea wizard. Oh god, Ben and wizards again. You inflicted me with these glub glub gills, so I could leave the water for no more than a couple glub glub minutes. I happen to own a towery that is glub glub, polluting some picturesque beach he likes. How was I supposed to glubbering? No. I demand you arrest this maniac and force him to glub, remove these gills. I will give anybody who votes to send to the wizard a hamper of cheese and wine money. Voting is closed. How, glub glub, dare you? From then on, Lord Benjamin Magnus remains confined to his aquarium. The sight of the great glass globe and its glub-glubbing occupant in the council hall quickly becomes unremarkable. Your Highness, I bring you tidings from the north. Wildlife has gone berserk in rural areas. They're attacking villages and travelers all across the region. Beasts, you say? They're great hulking beasts, clearly twisted by magic. Some say they walk like people. Northern warriors are afraid, and they say the creature's a dark omen, the sign of the end. By the ninth, what's got into these chiefs? They can't handle a few wild animals. Other regions have plenty of their own problems. No one wants to match up the frozen north for this. You're all as useful as nipples on a breastplate. Wonderful, Your Highness. Though the church's presence in the north is minimal, we can provide shelter for those who need it. All be welcome, whether adherence to the true god or not. The least we can do. Good, I'm glad you didn't go for the one that brings farming down. Find a suitable company of mercenaries and send an officer from your own city watch to oversee the expedition. They return tales of glorious hunt and a legendary northern hospitality. Chief Kwai is happy to report that the beasts have been forced back into the wilds. Hurry up, Your Majesty. You have another speech to give. Get the king his fancy robes! You're hustled onto your palace balcony, below which a sea of expectant and unwashed faces gaze up at you. As you step out into view, they erupt into cheers, hats are thrown into the air, and some faint with joy. Everywhere you've gone, you've met the same reception. The public likes you. They really like you. But you need to turn that to love. As you launch into your speech, the peasants hang on to every word. The crowd grows and grows, and you wrap up, the presents cheering loudly. So loudly, you're nearly knocked over. Oh, well done, Your Majesty. That went brilliantly. Now let's take this show on the road. Over the next few weeks, you'll travel all over the kingdom, delivering the same speech to packed venues everywhere you go. You're greeted by cheers and applause. Things are going wonderfully. The common folk of the coast even want to throw you a surprise banquet to celebrate your achievements. A sign that you're a true king of the people, Your Majesty. This has nothing to do with the nobles. It's all about ordinary folk, the salt of the earth. It's exactly as I wanted it. I'm so glad, Your Majesty. I await the invitation. After a few weeks, the Chancellor sidles into your office looking very pleased with himself. Your Majesty, the townsfolk of the coast are ready for you to visit. Your husband Finn steps into the carriage and settles beside you, looking out the window. Little Eric II makes the Chancellor play increasingly undignified make-believe games on your journey. You finally arrive in the coastal capital, where everywhere the people line the streets and hang out of the windows, cheering your procession. Lord Patrician Surely Only Mikey stands up and bows to you, his smile very rigid. Greetings, Your Esteemed Highness. How good to see you. Coastal citizens have decided they support the crown so much they put on a party in your honor. Voices of praise follow you as you travel the banquet hall, townsfolk throwing flower petals in your path. Lord Patrician Mikey's face is like thunder. When you enter the banquet hall, the national anthem strikes up. The hall is filled with coastal townsfolk, but there are also common folk from across the kingdom. Northern warriors bellow their support. The Chancellor looks stunned. I had no idea everyone got together for this. You let the cheering wash over you for a moment, savoring all the support. The people roar in approval. You spend a week in the coast feasting and the drinking and breaking bread with the commoners. But you can't be on holiday forever. Eventually return to the capital. The council is in session, and the nobles are arguing again. By all that is holy, we must have the coin from the treasury. I found an ancient law stating that the South is entitled to funds for southern sporting activities. No, we need gold for our businesses. The peasants aren't working hard enough and we're losing momentum. You think back to all the gathered peasants, trade people and merchants all cheering you. So many of them cheering for you. Be quiet and let me make the decision. The nobles gasp and mutter amongst themselves. You hear one of them saying something nervously about the commoners. Even over a single day, it becomes clear the nobles are running scared. You have so much support from the ordinary people that the nobles have realized just how outnumbered they are. The kingdom grows truly harmonious. You even feel the crown feels lighter on your head when you put it on each morning. Okay, stability is now serene. Trade can't go any higher anywhere, and the treasury is almost 5,000. The range stretches out in front of you, full of hope and ready for a bright future. I won! Hey! Monarch win! The grandees continued to throw accusations of witchcraft and heresy at their enemies. Everyone gradually learned to ignore them. The patricians failed to turn the kingdom's debt against it, and the moment had passed. Ever practical, they set about collecting interests and hoarding wealth, waiting for time to scheme once more. The chief's attempt to replace the king's advisors never planned out. One night, Chief Dragon awoke to find smiling spy master holding a knife at his throat and kindly asked him to assist. It's nice to be loved, especially when you're loved by an entire kingdom. King Eric rode a surge of public adoration for 15 years of carousing, feasting, and popular reform, of which were promptly undone after his passing, but the peasants thought it was nice while it lasted.
Well, wasn't that fantastic if I do say so myself? Thank you so much for watching. Look, there's 2 more videos that have been chosen for you by the YouTube algorithm. I would give them a watch. I'd hate to piss off a robot after all. Anyway, thank you to my editor Foxy for editing this video, and if you want to find out more Midgeman stuff, make sure you hit the link description below. Bye-bye!